Hello YouTube. I wanted to talk about how I see language as a kind of virtual reality. I had this shower thought the other day after stumbling upon a video by a YouTuber named Hyperborean Knowledge who was talking about layers of the Matrix. This was in reference to the Matrix film by the Wachowski brothers. In the movie, Neo is given the choice between two pills, red and blue, and upon choosing to take the red pill, he wakes up to the bleak reality that the real world is run by AI and robots. The world he woke up from was an entirely simulated virtual reality. I see language as another layer to the Matrix, albeit a lower, more foundational one. Now in the current day when we speak of virtual reality, we think of VR headsets or goggles that you wear on your face and seemingly put you in an entirely different three-dimensional world than the one your body is in. But three-dimensional virtual realities are not the only kind. You could also think of the internet as a whole, experienced through a 2D monitor or a smartphone, as a kind of virtual reality. The things you see online are not real, in the same way grass and trees outside are real. Online you are reading, watching, and listening to media that creates a reality in your head. Even if the media you intake represents the real world, it is not the same as direct exposure to grass and trees or experiencing events in the world yourself. I'm not saying anything new here, everyone knows these things. I'm just bringing all of this up because I think language is similar. What we say about the real world with words is not the real world itself. If someone comes to you and says, "I saw a turtle sitting on a fallen tree down by the lake," it creates an image in your mind of a turtle on a log by the water. But that isn't a real turtle. The image is all virtual inside your head, and the language was just the form of media that made you see that image. I see a given language's vocabulary as a set of all possible things and actions that can exist or take place in a shared linguistic virtual world. What words you use and where you draw the lines on their definitions has aesthetic and moral value. For example, your language could have the word turtle for all animals with 4 legs and a shell. Or you could break that concept down further into 2 words, turtle for the ones that live in wet environments, and tortoise for the ones that live in dry environments. Having more and more subcategories for a thing could imply that the subtle distinction between those things are important to the people who share this linguistic virtual reality. So what does all of this have to do with English? I see Englishers as people who have awoken from the virtual reality matrix of modern English and are actively creating their own linguistic virtual world with their values and aesthetic preferences built into it. I see this as a good thing and think it should be encouraged for other languages too. Whether it is a natural or a constructed language, I think people should take an active role in the crafting and maintaining of their shared linguistic virtual realities. I'm sure this perspective on language isn't unique, but if there are books written about language from this perspective, I would be interested in reading them. I know many of you are highly educated on these topics, and some of you are professional linguists, so if you know any reading material on this, I would appreciate the recommendations. Thanks for listening to me ramble.